think I'll start with this one over here on the left. And this one here is the exhaust bellow tool. I think I paid a little less than this, but this one here is 40 bucks. I recommend you get this one. Why? Because it has the little finger things here where you can easily grab onto the tool to pull the bellow towards you. This next one down here, see how it doesn't have that on this one, and I think when you're trying to pull that bellow onto the bell housing, here you don't have anything to grab onto. You might need two hands to use this tool, whereas here you can almost use one hand because your grip is so good on that tool. Okay, so what's that, 40 bucks? The next tool is the gimbal bearing puller installer tool. You might as well get the kit. I wouldn't buy it separately like this unless you already have the engine alignment tool. If you don't, I would get both. Engine alignment tool and the bearing puller here. Okay, so next one, Bellows adhesive. I just used one tube of Bellows adhesive, and actually I didn't even use the whole tube. I think I only used half the tube. So it's at 12, 13 bucks for that. The hinge pin, 8 bucks, 9 bucks. You're gonna need that tool. It's a special tool. And after seeing, before I did the job, I did my research on YouTube, and I looked on all over YouTube, and I was surprised at how many people were just wrenching on trying to get those hinge pins out instead of just getting this tool. It was 8 bucks, 9 bucks. You put that tool in, it will break that Loctite. Those hinge pins got Loctite on them, and this tool, I thought it was going to strip here on the end, but that thing handled it like a champ. So 8, 9 bucks is worth the stress. The next tool I got was from Harbor Freight, a breaker bar. I had the 1/2-inch breaker bar, 18-inch, $10.99. You're going to need that for the 6 bolts on the out drive, as well as the hinge pins. You're going to need to wrench on those hinge pins. They do have Loctite on them, and you're going to need a breaker bar to break them free. Next is the shift cable tool. Again, that's only $21, $22 for this one here. You might even find it cheaper. Yep, 20 bucks right there. And well worth the money, big time. You're going to need this tool because it fits over that. The shift cable is going to run right through the center of this thing. This goes onto your bell housing, and hopefully yours is not seized like mine was, and you'll be able to just pop that tool on. It's only 20 bucks. You might as well get the tool. Otherwise, you got to MacGyver something. So, all right, next tool. The next one is the Mercury Tool Shift Slide Holder. This tool here is another set of hands, especially when you're putting your out drive on. That shift cable end has a tendency to flop over when you're trying to put the out drive on. And if you're doing the job yourself, I saw when I was doing my research for the bellows installs, I saw people trying to get the out drive on, and they were spending. I mean, one guy had to stop his video just to have, and there was 2 of them trying to get this out drive on. So I found this tool here, and I'm not a pro, so I'm like, hell, I'm gonna give this tool a try. It's only 2 bucks. Well, it took me 10 minutes to get the out drive on with this tool. It kept the shift cable in place, prevented that shift cable from flopping over as I'm putting the drive on. 2 bucks is worth it. Next tool. Alpha 1 Gen 2. This is the gasket I used to get that on there. I'm not sure if everybody needs that. You might have an Alpha 1 Gen 1. You might want to double check and double check your parts. But my parts are for an Alpha 1 Gen 2. So next tool Let's see, the shift arm here. The shift arm is the shift. This is the shift arm. This is the shift shaft. And that shift shaft's $84. I think I paid $50 for both the arm and the shaft. So basically, to use the exhaust bellow tool, you're going to have to remove the shift shaft. To do that, you're going to have to unscrew this screw down here. Goes into here, which goes right here into this shift shaft. This is the shift arm. And what this does is it sits into your shift cable, and it basically moves your shift cable back and forth. So basically what you're going to have to do, mine was seized, this little bolt down here, this little screw was seized into the shift arm. So I just cut this thing in half with the grinder, took it out. Took me about 5-10 minutes, and then I was able to use my exhaust bellow tool. Prior to cutting this thing, though, it took me a day and a half trying to get that little screw out of there. It was seized. So I recommend, if you have to, cut that thing out. Here's another one, I think, up here. Here's one for $23. Here's one for $36, brand new, nice and shiny. So if you're going to get your tools, look around on eBay or Amazon, and you should be able to find the tool, or go down to your local bolt store if you're not sure. I did want to talk about some of these kits I see on eBay. Good luck on those. I didn't buy those kits. I paid $300 for this kit here. It's about $300, give or take 20 bucks. But the thing is I didn't want to get a bellow that didn't fit, a bellow that was torn, a bellow that was just made, from cheap material. So I went down to the local bolt store here, and they gave me the OEM equipment, and it installed perfectly. I mean, everything went great for me. I don't know. I just got lucky, I guess, after hearing some of these people trying to do this job, but it worked out great. I went and got these OEM equipment, shift cable, water hose, the oil hose, all this stuff here that you see here. One thing to point out, on the new bearing, on my new bearing, it didn't have a grease port. It's a self-contained bearing, so that was kind of cool too. So I didn't even have to get I didn't have to grease my bearing. Next is just some more kits, bunch of kits. So if you're strapped for money, I guess you could save a couple $100, get something like this here kit. This kit here comes with the U-joints, so it's all up to you. This one here, that's just the shift cable, brand new. That's what your shift cable is going to look like when it comes. However, you're going to have to pull this part out here. The center core comes out of here, and you're going to put the outer jacket in first. So that's pretty much it on the parts and that I use for an Alpha 1 Gen 2. So good luck.